Right, and here we go again, this time going to try a new game altogether without any prior experience other than the game starts to the main screen, which is of course, or like not even to the main screen, but to the like the main menu, which we hope that the game starts all the way. Didn't test it further because intended to start earlier, but first of course had to download the game and then otherwise see that it works at all, so took a bit longer than expected, like had only a moderate bit of internet available, which of course doesn't help with your installation, but it seems that we are not dropping any frames due to network, so we have enough internet available to do this properly, which is good start overall. So welcome again, and we are even doing streams on consecutive days, and we are doing streams almost as scheduled, which has been somewhat of a rarity very lately. So also in that respect, finding this quite good return to form. Next week we will be of course traveling for CabinCon, but for this weekend and thereabouts trying to do at least almost as planned. It of course depends always on how things go, but very good to have you here, and let's see about the game gradually. Like Luna played this once and do think that Luna did about as also expected on the message, like that kicked out of the government of the colony, so in that respect it's like fair enough. We'll also see if the game because somewhat ominously checked, and the game doesn't have UI scaling, so it's like we might be able to read the text or not. A lot like Anno 1800 can only be played with the skunk. So we'll see, and if necessary we will consider a different game when it comes to that, if we are unable to read any text. So hello there, Jax, and good to see you. Do think it's been a little while since I've seen you on stream. Hopefully you have been well. So let's then move towards the game and see what we find there. Started actually a bit earlier with Paladro yesterday, so in that respect, but it's often comparatively, would say, not extremely late, but it's late-ish, at least would agree, yes. So let's then see further with the game. We of course probably have some kind of tutorial, so first scenario is the main story, and we need to get to the 20th day to unlock the rest of the scenarios, so that is where we start. Alright, at least here the text is readable, but that's of course right. Right, what does that do? There's no active pause the game will be very difficult and your progress will be saved on exit only. That seems like it's not necessarily such a good idea. To preserve civilization from the chaos of its own downfall, we have fled to the end of the world. We will have to adapt to survive. Who will we become in the process? Yeah, it looks like there isn't that much. And yes, there is the cheap online game that practically copies this aesthetic. Or like the mobile game that is advertised all the time on Instagram, where you like collect wood apparently, and it has similar looking like the generator thing. So this immediately reminds one of advertisements on Instagram. Have not actually played this game before, but have noticed the constant advertising for the mobile game that very much copies this aesthetic from Instagram. So yep. Alright. So, we should then... Do not think we haven't practiced any, so it's kind of like doing the survivor mode immediately. Doesn't seem like the best idea ever. So let's... what does the customize scenario actually customize? Alright, medium seems like a good default. Extreme economy. Yeah. Also, like, extreme weather seems like a bad idea. But, like, people's needs, extreme. You wonder which way it means. People will be very likely to get sick and they will become hungry quickly. Yeah. That sounds like... Alright, so let's do the default settings. So... Let's then start, and no survivor mode, please. Plan ahead. If you're only reacting to crises, one slip too many will mean that your people... Yeah. Usually it would be good to be proactive. If we knew something about the game, it would be easier to be proactive. That's like a good start, conceptually.
No horizon in sight. The rulers of old, stripped of pride and glory. It feels as yesterday we were turning the wheels of progress. Until the frost stopped it all. Suddenly. Without a warning. When tides had changed, they changed for all of us, no matter wealth or class. We've lost our world to snow. And with it, our last traces of humanity.
Would also somewhat imagine if, like, the climate would keep getting colder in a moderate pace. There would also be some technical adaptation comparatively, like of course still if you have more than 2 flakes of snow falling into the UK, it's like there's no food in the stores because of course then it's extreme weather. But comparatively, like certain countries at times even encounter cold weather more regularly. Do remember one year, like North Lioness was complaining that it was like it snowed about 1 centimeter in London and there was no food in stores because nobody dared to drive the big rigs in that weather. So really,
we knew the cost of our journey. We paid the price.
Alright, a lot of intro answer if that is very useful. So let's start. And yes, welcome to the very small text. Alright. Alright, and clearly it's kind of logical button. We have to survive, yes, and yeah, it's kind of the game that is advertised a lot on Instagram, has copied the same aesthetics. And yes, the text is really small. Let's see how we survive. We need to get the generator working. It provides heat and power to other buildings. Without it we will freeze to death. Stockpile some coal and start the generator. Alright, and where do we get coal, like, or what do we need to do? Alright, and how do we do that? Alright. Resource management is crucial to Steve's survival. You need coal to power the generator. Wood and steel are necessary for construction and research. Steam cores are a key part of advanced buildings. Raw food is used to prepare food rations in the cookhouse. Later in the game, more resource types may appear. Most buildings require you to assign people to work there. Certain buildings only employ engineers and others only employ workers to assign people to work. Click on a workplace and use the assignment panel. 80 homeless. That sounds like a great start managerially. In operative, yes, but how do we stockpile coal? Alright, and workforce will extract coal, yes, but how? Alright. Considering they are homeless, maybe they are happy extracting coal. Seems like a great, like, let's put the homeless to extract coal. Sure. Only minus 20. Now we have 20 coal, so can we now, like, turn this thing on? Yes. That looks considerably more pleasant. Temperature. Alright. The temperature inside a building depends on the power setting of the generator. If the building is in a heat zone, that building's insulation and the conditions outside. There are 6 temperature levels. From comfortable to freezing. Sure. Camera controls we already mostly know about. Right, and temperature overlay. Alright. We of course have no other buildings really currently. So we also have a lot of homeless people, so food grade steel wreckage. And we have Controlling time, alright, so there is time control. Construction, yes, there is the hammer button, and then we have like placement instructions, so it practically uses a radial grid. Alright, now we know. We don't have much disk content yet, so it's kind of most probably, at least not yet, in major trouble. So we still apparently need to stockpile more coal. The text is so small on the tutorial instructions that can't really make out more than it probably has a counter how much coal we have to stockpile to progress, so should work. So how has Jax been this far?
End of shift. Go rest all who can.
Let's also put some workers to work on extracting wood and some workers to work on extracting steel, as we apparently can currently put some effort to resource extraction, so at least they get more discontented when they apparently mostly. And what can we build? A thinly insulated shelter for 10 people to sleep in. It seems like a good idea to build more housing. There we go. At least to think that people consider their needs better met when you have more houses. And to think we are extracting also wood, yes. Alright. And there's more like coal deposits. Doesn't sound very energy efficient to use coal, but it's like most probably if your climate is this cold, some water vapor and carbon dioxide emissions might be a good idea to have some warming, though if this is the only working coal fire in the world left, it might not help very soon. And then we have instructions on hope and discontent, which we are quite aware. Alright. Alright, now we at least have more houses, so and they are even moderately warm, so we have only 50 homeless. We would also like more wood. Are we even extracting any? Seems so. right, and we certainly do have like number of sick and gravely ill people. Then we have different medical buildings. So it's like, yep. If we had resources for those, when we like have a grand total of 0 wood. Alright. At least we do have quite warm tents. It would just be good to have more of those. We also have 10 steel available, but it's not very useful. And as we have no wood available, it's kind of like, yep, build street. What is the actual necessity for streets? Like, would they, for example, take people to work? Which also apparently requires wood. It would be good to have more homes for the people, but it's also like we do not have any extreme amount of wood. Alright, and one reason why we are not extracting resources is because we have free time. Which is good because we also run out of coal on free time, so it's kind of like apparently we should stockpile more coal to start with, because it seems we run out on free time, which appears excellent. Like, yep. Fortunately the day is also beginning, so let's see, like, is it work time most probably starts fortunately in about few minutes. Yes, as we are now on work time, we are again getting coal, so alright. You can also institute emergency shift. So practically normally it's like one sleeps for 6 hours and then has work time from 8 until 6, so at least we have a bit longer working days to hopefully stay warm, and then you can also change working times, and there's the emergency shift, which of course would be useful if it was quite amusing that we only almost run out of. Alright, let's also greet you properly. Moment. So let's switch to the main screen and alright, let's of course welcome, and we'll of course be happy to show off the bodysuit. It's quite stylish even, and certainly one of this one's favorites overall. So there we go. Thank you for the redeem, very much appreciated. Oh. And of course, welcome to the stream. So let's see about trying to build some more housing and or other useful things like streets, because apparently, for example, building a street to the coal mine might help with getting more coal. One might hope. Oh, thank you. Do agree that it's a really nice suit overall. Very pleased with both Skulldogs, and do think that this is like one of also this one's favorite suits. So certainly, thank you and very much appreciated. Oh. So let's then see about how we are doing in the game, and of course, how are you doing, Aimer? It's always great to see you here. Do remember you have joined also before, at least a couple of times, and very good to have you around. Always appreciate all the regulars. It's very nice to have some regular visitors to the Fursuit streams. Always very much enjoy the genre in general. It's also amusing, like when started out, thought that there would be like many Fursuit streamers, but it proved that actually Fursuit Gaming streams are not very common, because thought that it would be a big genre. It isn't especially big genre, but let's try to make it bigger. Oh, thank you. Always happy to hear so. So we could save game, which is of course we have free save, so let's save game in any case. Like maybe it's of some use, like stream 1. Do not really know if we are doing very well or not, because it seems that we are running out of quite a few things. We should meet the need for housing, but we need more wood. So would it be, first of all, is this the wood? Yes, this is the wood. So let's build a street to the wood system. Because if we have a street going to the wood system, maybe that helps with the output of the wood system also. We'll see. Because we clearly need more housing. What is the main need not being met? Hard to say, because it shows the text in such dark red font that actually not quite able to read it. Accessibility of this game is somewhat lacking. but let's not. Alright, we are getting the street built. Let's see if that increases the output of the wood system or does anything else useful. Alright, we have wood, so let's make more housing. At least it helps. We also need to at some point make food rations, so let's see like. Alright, and how much wood does that cost? 20 wood, alright. Let's save up on wood and make the kitchen, because most probably people will get more content when they get also like food. Like processed food, because of course it's preferable to have processed food when you compare to like eating raw, probably frozen food, so sure. Right, now we apparently have the street almost laid, so maybe that helps with the output of the wood system. Alright, now we are starting to get manufactured meals, and we have only 30 people homeless, so that is already considerably better situation. Let's see, we can build more. Alright, tents cost 10 wood a piece, so let's build another one, and at some point we are going to defeat homelessness, which is like, we would like to see how the housing question is solved, apparently, at least before this content increases too much, hopefully. We also have one person sick, and we could use infirmary or something, but that also costs resources, which is like the usual problem in almost every apparently matter societal. It costs resources, so that seems logical enough. Alright, now we need to assign workers here, so certainly let's assign workers to work in the cookhouse. At this rate we are also going to defeat homelessness, of course, somewhat. At least we have like almost 100 coal. Alright, we need to stockpile apparently 200 coal, so it's kind of like not running out of coal at night would be nice. Of course, also last morning we like, right, now we do have standard closed until morning. Alright, hopefully at least we have reduced this content, and we have only 20 people now homeless, which is also like considerable improvement compared to the earlier state of affairs when we had 80 people homeless. So yes, we are like gradually improving our overall. Right, unsurvived street blinks yellow all the time, but there probably is some good reason for that. Let's see, like if we would like to build, turns red at that point, so that doesn't seem like we can build it further than that. This uses an interesting like angular like radial grid rather than the regular like orthogonal or rectangular grid. So the radial method is interesting. It's of course quite logical if you have to heat your buildings with the not terribly advanced coal burner here. It seems like logical enough solution in that respect. All our buildings are even warm, but it's kind of somewhat limited area. Alright, and then we have the night time again, like free time. Yes, hopefully the workers also have the great idea of sleeping at times, which might help. So in that respect also would think that the workers hopefully have somewhat sane solution in that respect to their daily routine. So then we hopefully don't run out of coal tonight. We could put the timer faster. Let's see, fast game speed, sure, because it's kind of not very useful during free time to do too much, because it's like we most probably would like to be on working time to actually get resources. And this night we even do not run out of coal, which is nice. All right. Critical shortage. All right, and we should also have resources to construct a medical building, but it's kind of to actually think that we do not need any specific change in laws for that. We simply need to use wood to build that now that working time begins. So it's like mostly, let's see how much resources the first level medical building requires. 25, yeah, that's doable. Then we pretty much run out of the first kind of like, alright, and here are our fair citizens, or like tent dwellers apparently heading for work. So,
Move, people. There's plenty to do.
and we can apparently even check every single citizen separately, but like, yeah, currently would be very nice if we could stockpile wood enough to construct the medical facility. Oh, we have only four sick, and most probably they are the homeless ones, so it's kind of like we would also need at some point upgrade the generator, but as we are running a minor coal surplus, it seems good enough. Also somewhat think that for now digging for steel is not very useful, so let's stop that, and rather do think it would be most useful to construct extra coal mine once we are able to, because like stockpiling coal at first is, in addition to wood, clearly one of the keys in the early game. So let's see, we are soon up to 25 wood, and then we can actually construct a health facility. At least some kind of infirmary might help with the sick citizens. Of course, if you're working in the cold all the time, it might not be the easiest. Alright, it doesn't take too much space, so we can pretty quickly build that, so that solves one crisis. I'm sure why the road is still blinking yellow, because it's not indicated anywhere. Let's see, can we construct also like a coal mine? Apparently it would be this, so 15 wood and 5 steel. Alright, tutorial and workforce. We also have one hungry. Requires raw food. Alright, and we need to assign workers to the health facility. Alright, that helps. Then we most probably need the hunter thing, because we run out of raw food. And they only hunt at night, so it's like... And it needs to be placed on the outer circle, so we practically require a generator upgrade for that. We are practically running a coal surplus, but we need to... Alright, and our next problem is like... Alright, we have food rations for about 2 days, and now we can assign workers to the hunter thing, which of course then... We do get raw food, so it appears to be somewhat realistic. And we are still running some level of coal surplus, and we need to first of all stockpile 200 coal, which takes a few days until we can like build extra coal mine. We can now apparently at least order one to be built, because it's like gathering post, so... And that would be coal, yes, because if we have more personnel involved in gathering coal, it should improve our overall energy situation sufficiently. So let's order extra coal gathering, not adjacent to street. Street not connected to the generator. Alright, finally we see what the error was. And then, alright, now we know what the problem with the street was, so we can maybe even fix that. Alright, and now we should be producing raw food at least. So, and we are not running out of coal at night, and we have only 20 homeless people. So with the next day's like provision of wood, we should be able to build a bit more tents, and then we are not like having any homeless, which is good. And we are also apparently building crew went out at night to build the resource gathering post, which should improve the situation. This is also not too cold, so this looks somewhat like survivable situation. We are not at least running terminally out of anything, so alright, it's apparently just closed and not like otherwise problematic. Alright, that is kind of like rough overall. We'll return with up to 15 raw food. Apparently game is quite limited, like would imagine that you would. Alright, and let's assign workers to our not adjacent to street. We can at least order streets to be built once we have more wood. And we are still running night time, so let's put fast game speed into effect, because we can't of course do much until we can construct again, which requires that we have working wood gathering. Alright, and we again have sunrise, so
Wrap up well. The frost
somehow we had an increase of this content also, but let's construct more housing and hopefully, alright, we are about to receive some raw food, so at least our food supply situation is somewhat in control.
time to earn.
And now we have resource production ongoing, so alright, it's very cold there. That wouldn't surprise anyone most probably. Coal pile depleted. Apparently this was also depleted, which is most excellent timing. for some reason we are not getting any wood either. Which isn't really helping with the overall situation, because let's assign just 5 to produce food, because we are anyway out of raw food currently. And then like assign more to actually produce wood. Alright, now we are at least producing wood, so we can actually build a house rather soon. This should again solve the homeless situation one step.
Finish your labors, people. The workday is up.
Alright. That at least helps, because we again reduce homelessness, which kind of has been one major issue. And because we are running a coal surplus of about 20. If we consider the amount of rations versus raw food, there is also the overall we have also workers assigned to the resource gathering hut that currently does nothing, so more workers to hunt preferably, because at this rate we are running out of food. We should probably construct another of those. Now we have only 10 homeless people. Would hope that would gradually lower discontent. Then it's kind of we are out of space, because we would need to do on the second circle the remaining, and we are like 1 wood short of actually being able to construct. This is only like chilly, so it's kind of like we wouldn't have the warmest tent ever. We also have really useful street here. We built a street and then immediately the coal pile was depleted, so we also built the resource gathering post that apparently also required street connection, which we of course haven't had the resources to build. This is the kind of game clearly that like, yeah, let's have a city builder where everything goes quite poorly. So let's save the game also again. Like to have at least point to return to if we do really poorly. And alright, we have been playing for about an hour, so let's of course continue for now at least. We can most probably do another hour at least, so let's see how we do. It's more like, do we lose the game first or so. Let's continue. Only 10 people are now homeless, so we should also at some point be able to like improve this thing. Like we still need to stockpile 200 coal, which is of course gradually happening because we are running a slight surplus. So let's speed up game time waiting for like working time again. We also have colder weather, which isn't helping much. So almost nothing is very warm. Minus 40 would say is already quite cold for tent living. Alright, and we are having dawn break again, so at least we are well alive. That's also very good start. Only 10 homeless people and a couple are ill. We should also, we are practically running out of food. It's like, do we need more people to hunt? We at least have raw food, but it's like for about 2 hours. Two food rations per raw food unit. Alright. And we can also use like a hot house, which would be useful. Research upgrades to significantly increase hunt yield. Yes, but how do we do that? Research, alright. Use the workshop to develop new buildings and improvements. Alright, we need to construct one of those, which is also we should then also build workshop. Let's see how much it requires. Like 15 wood That's quite alright. We could also build the last, like, housing unit, which will not be very warm. But at least nobody is homeless, which do think is a moral factor. Still can't see the reasons for the discontent, which isn't helpful. Lack of shelter. That we are at least trying to solve. At least we have eliminated homelessness, though it will not be very warm because we would need to develop. And now we have enough wood, so we can construct also the workshop, which probably requires engineers, and will also be very cold as we do not really have any. And now we have eliminated homelessness, which of course removes one. Somehow seems many of these will not increase contentness, at least. Yeah, this is kind of most probably the first game is very much practice, because it's clear that multiple problems. Consider signing the radical treatment or sustain life law. What would this then do? The gravely ill will be treated in medical posts. Hope will rise slightly. Then we have negative effects that can't read. The dark red text on a black background is a bad idea. It's of course good. This is like politics. Yes, alright, we have these positive effects. And then can't read the negative effects. Fortunately, the game is highly accessible. This is like typical politics, clearly. There were also negative effects, but was unable to see them. Really. So let's then see the other option. It has also some positive effects. Sustain life. The gravely ill will be kept alive but untreated in medical posts. Hope will rise slightly, and then we have negative effects. Let's do radical treatment simply because both negative effects are not readable, and hope will rise slightly anyway, so let's sign that to law.
New law in the city.
At least we'll be saving lives, yeah? What are the current reasons for this content? Hard to say. Finally we get to use the engineers. Add new research. Finally. Heating. Alright, researching workplace heaters might be useful. And what does the steam hub do? When powered by the generator. Alright, we also would need drawing boards. Exploration and industry. Resources, sawmill, faster catering. Do you think that would be very useful start, even if you're not able to immediately, like whether workplace heaters or faster catering? And then we also have hunter's gear. Considering we are also going to run out of food, so it's kind of problems. Yeah, it's a very nice city builder. Everything goes wrong. Usually at the same time. Yeah, we are not going to do well without food either, so it's like, yeah, let's research hunter's gear first. Like increase food production. Alright, we are researching. That's nice. How's our... Alright, we still have some working time left. Cold. We can't do much about that yet because we need to develop something to be able to have more range for the generator. Alright, we are getting close to the 200 coal stockpile now, so then the tutorial would progress. It's very probable at this rate of this content though that we have to like restart at some point, because it looks like that we most probably will get in major trouble. The workplace heaters would also be useful, but it's like, yeah. At least we do have 15 raw food arriving. Alright, what's that? People from our convoy. Sir, a woman came forward after we built the workshop. She said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group, but she's sure they are out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. Alright, how do we send out scouts? Does it require research? And we do have quite a bit of discontent, and reasons are what? Cold at work. Sure, lack of medical care. Yep. Not that we technically could build another medical post. The main issue is that it will also be cold, so it's like, yep. How about more problems? So we can build it, but it will be too cold. Great use of wood. There isn't that much else we can do immediately, so let's speed the game up and see if we can reach the 200 coal stored next day, and otherwise, like, our main problem currently is like we shouldn't assign workers there as long as it's too cold, and now we have like very many sick. Yep. And then we have the problem that yes, we have 15 raw food, but it will produce only 30 rations, so practically 100 post is not enough to feed the 80 people. So this is like, at least it's getting less cold, like only minus 30 degrees, which sounds very... Ah, hello there, Raven. Let's greet you properly and most probably restart the game soon, because we are actually running out of food at this rate. So it's kind of like... And we have like 20 people ill, which is also... Yeah, we can build another medical post, but it will be too cold. So it's like either you're homeless or you're... So we should have most probably built the workshop earlier and or... first stockpiled coal, so it's like this is quite probable restart, as we will also run out of food. So it's like keeping all the 80 people, we are at surprisingly low discontent. Why? Alright, we can actually assign workers here, and it's functioning for now at least, though it's chilly because the weather receded a little. Like, yeah, that helps. The main problem now is that we have only 15 people ill. This content at least lowered a lot. So we are not quite up for a restart yet. But yes, let's greet both of you properly, like. Oh, hello there again, and it's always good to see you two here, Raven and Red Claw. Really nice having you both join. And we are again struggling with the food situation, especially now, because like we should build another hunter outpost. Most probably we are going to increase the output also. Do we have workers for those? Not really. And we can apparently put out new laws. Workers needed. There's so much to do and not enough hands to do it. A quick way addressing this problem is to put our children to work. Sounds like a great idea. Of course, let's do so. Most probably will be very popular. Child labor. Safe work. Yeah, whatever is safe job for child labor. Sure, and what does it do? Children can work on safe workplaces. What would be safe work in colony of this style? Would imagine there are not that many safe jobs in like freezing cold. Oh well. So let's sign it into law, and maybe we will have more workers because it would be very useful.
Listen, everyone.
Hope dropped a bit, but this content is also quite modest. Yeah, you may complain, but actually Hunter's gear researched. Excellent, and then we probably need to build another hunter. And let's also build a street in that direction. Alright, that would be something of an improvement because we now have like now we should research something else. So now we have hunter gear, and then we could either research workplace heaters, which would be useful, and use more which also is not like the best thing ever. Alright, and we have been showing off the fursuit for a while, so let's change back, because of course we are elegant, but we also like to show the game. There we go. Apologies for that. So, feel free to also note in the chat if I've been showing the fursuit too long by accident. Sometimes forget to change after giving greetings, so apologies for that. But yes, what else we can? Beacon, what does the beacon do? Allows us to send scouts, alright. Alright, and research also requires. Resources, yep. We need first of all more resources, but at least we do have some working time left, so more will be gathered. Alright, we gradually do have some wood again, so let's see, can we research, like this would be moderately useful, like to have because we can apparently, when powered by the generator, these contraptions create additional smaller heat zones around them. Each active unmodified steam hub consumes 3 coal per hour. Alright, that's like helpful for buildings, and we at some point both probably will be able to heat up also the workplaces. So let's research that next. Like if we have more warm buildings, we will also have less trouble. With sickness. Wood crates depleted. Alright, so that was the amount of wood we will be getting. The steel wreckage. Alright, wood crates even further away, so it will be the next problem. More sick beds needed. Three days to build a medical post. That seems like possible, like even if campaign promises are kind of questionable. We need to start doing the new wood source then. So let's assign workers there, but it doesn't matter yet because they will be working the next period there. Alright, and we have problem with amputees, which sounds quite... Alright, we can also sign a law for care house or prosthetics, but we currently do not yet have prosthetics because those apparently need to be developed. So how about not getting frostbitten? We would like to have more heating one day. We are working on that, but at least the disk content is quite limited, but we have all the time huge amounts of sick. We promised to build a new, and most probably also the steam hub will help. We are also running out of food pretty much right now, so we do also have, now we will get 20 raw food from the hunter, so that helps, and we are building another hunter, so we are kind of getting scraping by. Of course, currently we are out of food, so there will be starvation. At least we are getting a bit more rations because we are now getting 20 food per hunter's hut, so it's kind of like moderate improvement. The main issue that we are running out of food now. At least one would imagine that most do not eat during the night, so at least we had someone also heal, so. And we have the other hunters hut, we need more workers, so. Alright, and we are getting 20 raw food, which produces 40 rations, which is better than nothing. We also have this, but we do not have workers for that, so. Our need for wood is also comparatively more limited, so let's put only like 5 workers here and assign max here, which also matters because they hunt only during the night, but most probably you can't switch workers between those two because that would be kind of like, yes, but you became a hunter for the night, so 24-hour shifts through probable violation of labor laws. And then most probably we are going to at least develop that, and now we will get also this will mostly solve the food situation for the better. We are going to run out of food again during the day, but at least we are pushing in that direction. The main issue is that it requires considerable amount of more workforce to hunt effectively, so it's like not really a winning proposition. At least we are kind of like doing moderately well with the coal supply situation. We can also put children to work at the coal. It's like a safe job, unlike the. Can we also? Yes, we can put children to also extract the wood. So it's like, yeah, that helps. Very ethical. Steam hub researched, yes. Now we can most probably add heating. And we have steel left over because we haven't ever been really successful. Probably the best position would be here. We do have also do think the best position would be along this radial street, because we can then build more buildings along the street. So coal pile depleted. That's a great start. And are we now altogether out of coal there? It's easy and problem free or not. Alright, there's more coal here. The red text is quite useless. Alright, we soon will consume even more coal, so that certainly improved the heat situation. Let's research something else. The beacon would be quite useful. What else we can research? Faster gathering. Does it help with hunting? No. Researching drawing boards might be useful. Researching the workplace heaters might also be useful, but let's do the beacon first. We also need to construct a medical facility, so
The shift is ending.
we have 32 wood, so we can actually build it. Another matter is having workers for it, but we promised to build one. We do have wood also here. That would be considerably closer, so at least we do have like almost everything is even heated currently, so and we are not running out of coal. We are out of food though, but we at least do have 2 hunting. And now we do have even a medical post, but we do not have personnel for it, so it's like, yep. Alright, the medical post has to be also opened, but we can cheat a bit because opening it practically requires that was the cookhouse, no wonder. If we can actually cheat kind of with opening a new medical post. Yes, we opened a new medical post, but we actually just moved staff from another one there. So it's like, again, this is like politics. Yes, we promised to open one, actually we just shuffle resources bit. between the locations. One has to say that this unfortunately resembles real politics more than one would expect. You help the sick. They and their families are grateful. Hope rises. We increased hope without actually providing any real improvement. So this content is at an all-time low. What we are still missing? Unsure. It's very hard to read the red text on black background. We again have 0 food, but it's like at least we are hunting more effectively. And even the sick are being reduced in number, so it's kind of apparently stabilizing a bit. This content is at an all-time low, so mostly only resource situation is kind of dire in some respects. Also running the extra heater kind of is really pushing our coal consumption, but would imagine that we get more people with the beacon, like sending out scouts and hopefully finding more personnel for our fair city. One would hope it would be considered fair, but alright. We can probably still do some time, especially as we haven't had to restart, which is nice. Alright, and we are gradually getting to the morning and hopefully getting some output from the hunters, so this content is at an all-time low. The main issue really is that we we are running out of people capable of working. Yes, and we are kind of like again towing the line with the coal, so it's kind of, do we even have more coal still here? We do have wood, we do have steel, and we do have coal also here, so it's like, and we do have the coal pile here we are actually currently working. There's also one here, so we are not going to run out anytime soon, but it would be really useful to be able to produce more coal. It's mostly like, alright. We ran out of coal pretty much exactly when it was like absolutely the limit. Do we really need wood for anything? Not immediately. So let's like produce coal only for a while. Like if we work 2 coal piles, that should provide considerable improvement. At least it would be good to not run out of coal during the night, so. We could also run this only during the night, but now only 2 are hungry, so. Child injured at work. Most probably we should give a day off because it's not very useful. And then we develop the beacon. So let's see then what we need to build the beacon. We of course need to declare new research goal also at some point, but let's see like resource wise. Wood, 35 steel. Right. We can actually add workers to the hunting party, which increases food production a bit, so we can try to stabilize there.
Finish your labors, people. The work day is up.
And we run out of working time. We could consider like next round getting more wood so we can finally do the beacon thing, so it's like we also have a wood deposit much closer, so it's like we could even build a road there. That should be sufficient, like we are coal wise, and we have some more sick beds needed again. Again, constructing a medical post mostly suffers from worker shortage, so it's like it's not a problem wood, it's mostly a problem of actually getting more engineers to run them, but we can like reduce them from research because we aren't currently researching anything due to resource limitations, because everything requires wood, so it's like we can construct more medical posts, because currently this is using 5 engineers who would be as well employed currently in caring for the sick, so Let's improve the healthcare efficiency. We are also hungry, which is kind of an issue. Feed more with less. Alright. We can also apparently limit rations. Soup. Indeed. And it does something negative. What else we can do? Food additives, which sounds like both have negative effects, but it's like, again, unable to read the negative effects because they are typed out in very useful contrast. So most probably feeding them soup sounds like a realistic option. So let's provide some soup.
A new law has passed.
We do not currently have any food, so it's like soup increased this content, but we have space for this content. There isn't much else we can do before morning, so let's speed up the game. Alright. This content also lowered during the night, so a protective mother. We can have like a day off. It's kind of like, let's rather increase hope than push for every resource, because it's like, alright, our coal campaign has helped, so we can now most probably do with a bit less workers for the coal campaign and put some to the wood. We even have a nice new street to our wood gathering position, so
Work time. Get moving.
the soup also considerably improves the ratio of food rations from raw food, so it's kind of like, yes, let's give them very little other than warm water. At least we are reducing the amount of sickness, so we could also research something, but we have had the engineers running the healthcare. Now that we again have wood, we could maybe let's see the requirements for the beacon. 20 wood, 35 steel, so let's first of all gather 20 wood and then move to the steel. We may even have enough working time today to accomplish those. And at this point we save the game, because it seems we have survived better than expected from the overall situation. There we go. Right, and let's keep going at least for some time still, and then see, like, maybe in half an hour who we will raid. But let's keep going for now, as we are at least somewhat surviving. Alright, we are approaching 20 wood, and then we can move to steel. Alright, there's 20, so we can put the workforce out of there and put them to picking some steel scrap next. A frightened patient. Alright, we can either have them die or be left as an amputee. And the amputees at some point require a care house, so it's kind of like... In general, the radical treatment compared to sustain life, considering the count of medical facilities, it's kind of like... Not again a decision one would like to make, but of course... Unable to work compared to dead is pretty much the same, so we have lowered the amount of sick considerably by fully staffing the medical facilities. Who would have guessed? We also need to build still another one, because we promised that rather than... Nobody is unemployed, surprisingly. We are doing a bit more realistic also food-wise, so... Alright, do you think we can actually... It's 35, so... We will run still out of working time first. It would be good to research, but it's like we also need to... How long we do have to open another medical facility? 2 days, so we can practically still take time with that. And we run out of working time, so let's speed up the game for the night. We ran out of soup also, but we are like just towing the line with the food economy. Temperature falls, most excellent. At least we do have like mostly sufficient heating. Alright, work time starts in a few minutes. There we go, so and then we should soon have enough steel for the beacon, so maybe we can do something useful with that. We could also research the workplace heaters at some point. Let's like put one engineer there, and once we have resources, consider that. We need to build still one more medical post also next, so alright, and we soon will have enough steel, so then we can move back to extracting wood. Alright, the beacon is quite expensive. There we go, and then we go back to wood extraction. It's very cold, certainly. We should research also workplace heaters, but it's kind of, yeah, that would also require more coal. Alright, we can construct the beacon. Alright, researching heaters requires more wood. We are at least extracting wood. Alright, quite a bit of sick absences here, which will be an issue as we like. How much wood we need for the yet another medical post? 25, yeah. We also have only one sick, which is an improvement. To build a care house. Hope will fall slightly. Let's take the hit. Nothing will change. Working children will eat double rations. Hope will rise. It's kind of like, yeah, we are anyway, currently we can't really afford it food wise because we are already like pushing it. Yeah, at this rate of, we have nobody sick, but at this rate of like, we have 15 being treated, so there will be an issue with coal.
Finish your labors, people. The workday is up.
Temperature will also increase in a day, so that will help a bit, but it's like, we had so many sick absences in coal production that yeah. So there will certainly be issues. Beacon built, indeed. Alright, and it even includes a nice balloon, so kind of like observation balloon included, which apparently increases viewpoint a lot, which might or might not be such a good idea considering how well. Yes, now we can send out scouts as if we had population left for scouting. Yes. Lost expedition crash site. Let's see, the lost expedition is closer. Numerous tents. We can see people moving about. They must be the lost members of our expedition. Send scouts here. Alright, how do we send scouts? Alright, from the beacon itself, so create a new scout team. Apparently it requires something again. The really dark lettering. Ready to search. We needed a win. And then we need wood and workers. Yeah. At least we are reducing our sick absences. We are also going to run out of coal. First of all, stop wood extraction and put all the workers to coal for now. And it's only like midnight, so we can most probably push it for some time, because it's not like it immediately shuts down, so it's like Let's see how far we can push it. Alright, it's about 5 AM, so it's kind of like so we practically sooner or later should sign the prosthetics law, but it requires some level of research. How many days we would have? 5. Let's rather promise that. First death. We can even build the corpse disposal, most probably lowers morale, so let's rather go for the cemetery. We just need to build one.
New law in the city.
We can most probably survive like at this rate until we get to work time. It's really pushing it with 0 coal.
Move. Time to get to work.
Now we have coal, so let's turn it back on. Weather will also warm up, fortunately, so and we need to open a medical facility, so we need to extract some wood. Now our coal situation is somehow under control, so let's simply close one of these for a while and extract enough wood to build the accursed medical facility. Because we are only a few wood short. $25, and that would be it, and please move back to coal production. Fortunately, the temperature will also increase soon. That will reduce discontent. We also need builders there, so let's just get the engineers out of there and have them build it. At least coal will not be the problem. As we are pushing already like we have like 2 hours to open the thing. Like let's close all medical posts temporarily to build that one, because otherwise we will have further problems. Alright, and now it's built, because fortunately practically the game doesn't detect. And yes, shift resources around enough to make it, which again, as noted, is kind of more realistic one than one would like. Alright, let's continue at least a bit still. Alright, we fulfilled the promise, so hope increased. Also this content is quite high, but temperature is going to increase soon, which will most probably help. Now we can consider wood production and research, because we are more or less successful in the coal area. We also have 20 in the sick base. We also have more engineers available, so we can man the sick base a bit better. At least all the sick are in the sick base, so that is kind of helpful. We have no research at this time though, so it would be very useful if we could send out the expedition to the lost like expedition to get more workers. At least we are somehow scraping it through currently, so. And the temperature will increase very soon, which will help with this content. As we are also pretty well with hope. We also need to research the prosthetics in 5 days, so. So there isn't that much we can do immediately. Pretty high this content, which is not good. At least we didn't run out of coal. And the temperature will also increase 1 level, which helps immensely. There we go. and that will immediately eat much of the dish content because it's now not deadly cold in the workplace. Like minus 30 degrees immediately eats much of the dish content. That gives a temporary respite for like a couple of days. So
Work time.
we still need more workers. Having 20 workers sick is not a workable situation in the longer term. Let's get some engineers out of the healthcare facilities so that we do again have some hope of research. That would require wood. So the engineers can as well go and gather wood, please. Now we have workers available. And we are certainly pushing it with the coal situation, so we can't currently produce more food, so let's move the workers to extract wood instead of wood for some time. Yep, this is, would say, one of the most painfully towing the line type city builders. And it's interesting. Alright, we are almost at 2.5 hours, so do think that we are going to see who we will raid and finish here for tonight and have another stream tomorrow as scheduled. So let's properly first of all wish you good night and then see who we will raid. Do think that was pretty good amount of starting in the game and seeing that yes, it is a lot of less than optimal situations in the cold. Quite enjoyable, very demanding though, like you are constantly towing the line with resources and people being content, so there we go, and wish you all a pleasant rest of the evening, and let's see who we will raid. So very thankful for all of you joining, and certainly the game is interesting and need to play more of it regularly. Might be that we have to still restart. It's kind of that we might get unable to get enough healthy workforce to maintain the colony at this rate. More workers would be a blessing, but sending out scouts requires workers. So it's kind of like we will be in very resource crunch situation in a bit. Because we need wood to send the scouts and we need workers for the scouts, and then we have to at the same time try and produce coal while dealing with the sick workers. So it's kind of like yes, it's very much touch and go. So let's then see who we will raid. Alright, so let's see who we will raid and who's doing what. Haunta is playing Diablo 2 Resurrected. Do think that is actually quite nice. It's been a while since we have done anything with Haunta. Yeah. He's a good Finnish streamer. So let's raid him. It's been a while. Also, only now remembered to post the advertisements for the stream beginning, but because it has the picture of the Skulldog, decided to tweet them anyway for some Skulldog goodness, though we are finishing here, but not such a major issue because quite a few found us, so let's remember tomorrow and no problem otherwise. So let's go for Haunta. It's been a while since we have raided them, and they are playing even a pretty nice game with the Diablo 2, so hope you all have a pleasant rest of the evening, and we will see you tomorrow.